Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with another RPG Maker MV commercial game called Capsule Monsters Tactical Tactics. It is a RPG Maker tactic style game based on the popular Pokemon with a hybrid Fire Emblem um, battle style. All right, so this game was our community pick game chosen by the Wheel of Doom or the RTP wheel, whatever which one you prefer to call it. So this game was chosen. The developer name is TheLastYuriSamurai. TheLastYuriSamurai. This game has, I'm not sure when the release date, but it does have a Kickstarter campaign, and the demo is available to the public if you want to try it out for yourself. So all that information is in the description of the video. So a little note from the developer. Hello there, I'm TheLastYuriSamurai, and my hope is to make more and more games with LGBT content. I mainly use RPG Maker MV and look forward to making the kinds of game others can enjoy. Feel free to check out my itch.io account, which is also listed below, and my Twitter, which is also in the description, where I post updates and let people know what games I'm currently working on. Alright, so you guys know the deal. When we get a game, we have a week to pretty much live with the game. A whole week where the game is nothing but our attention only. So, me, Cychronic Games, and Harlequin had the opportunity to play this game and see for ourselves, is this game worthy of a commercial release? Does it have hope to be a commercial success? What do we think about the game, and what feedback can we possibly give this developer? So, like I said, guys, everything is our opinion only, and that's it. You know, if the developer want to listen, they listen. If they don't, that's on them. So, we're going to talk about the game in different categories, you know, to kind of keep some structure going on. We're going to talk about the main story attraction of the game, the art style of the game, the music, and other categories that may come to mind. So, first we're going to start off the selling pitch of the game, which is the story, you know, because people, you know, they look at the story along with the graphics, but they want to know what the game is about. So we're going to talk about what this game is about, along with what story, no spoilers, have we received from the demo. So, Cychronic Games, if you would like to start this one out, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. So I guess when it comes to the story, as far as I can tell, without spoiling as much as I can, the basic premise seems to be that you start off as a person who is dead, or they're all dead, and the little robot guy is kind of like, hey, you know, you're all dead, and you're gonna be reincarnated. But before you do, does anybody want to play a game? And the game involves capsule monsters, which are these little, like kind of like Pokemon, these little monsters that have different vibes to them and everything like that. That you get out of a machine, and you fight them with the and that the main premise is that whoever wins the capsule monster fight between the contestants will get one wish. that when they get reincarnated, they can wish for one thing, and then the others won't get punished or anything. They'll just live a new life. But in the meantime, let's play this game, and whoever wins gets to make a wish. So that's the basic premise of the story, as far as what I could tell from the time that I played it. And then the demo was pretty short, so I don't know how far they plan to take it. But I did, you know, I think storyline wise, I mean, it has a basic premise going for it. Like the people when they talk or with each other about their lives or how they died and stuff. It's cute. But yeah, I don't know how deep it's intended to be, but that's the basic premise, I guess, from what I could tell.
All right, my brother. All right. So, you pretty much got the same premise that I got, you know. But let's hear from the resident German, what he thought about the story, the introduction of the game.
Yeah, well, as Psyctronic already said, like the premise is basically you're dead, and this robot dude is essentially holding like a Pokemon tournament. But it's not Pokemon, it's Gashapon instead, because you get your monsters from this little like gacha machine. So it's random. And whoever wins this tournament gets to make a wish. Pretty much anything within like the realms of reality basically is what they offer you. That's already kind of where the game lost me a bit, because the characters, I find all of them completely unrelatable. Like, if you were offered to be reincarnated with any wish you could possibly do within the realms of reality, these people are like, oh, I want to be, my next life should be an adventure. And the other guy is like, I want to see my daughters once more. And like, come on, you have the realms of reality in your grasp. And that's what you're gonna wish for? A fucking adventure? Like, come on.
There should be one of them that wishes to be able to retain all of their memories from
yeah,
the previous life.
That's what I thought too. Like, even if you just retained your memories, that's so much more awesome than having your next life be a fucking adventure, whatever that means. Like, you could wish for, I don't know, being the happiest person on the fucking planet. That would probably still include an adventure because that's what you like. So you being the happiest person on the planet is probably gonna involve an adventure in your life. And stuff like that. But no, they all just so humble and unrelatable. I don't know. I avoided talking to any of them after the introduction because it was just wholly unrelatable. Like, those characters made no sense to me. They just been there to be there. It makes no sense. Like, this one guy is a dickhead just to be a dickhead. Like, he has no reason to, or no motivation behind that. He's just a dick.
Yeah, he's
just because the game needed a dick in their game, and that's it. And yeah, I don't know. The characters get no points from me. They're unrelatable, I don't know, just boring, straight up boring. It's not interesting. Their backstories are not interesting for me to get involved in. Like, that's already lost.
Yeah.
So, and story-wise, we didn't really get much story in the demo because the demo is essentially like 8 minutes long. Unless you fight all the optional battles, because every battle is pretty much optional. Unless you do that, you finish this demo in like 8 minutes. So I don't know what the rest of the story is. Maybe it gets deeper as the game goes on at some point. I don't know, but we didn't see any of that. So story-wise, this gets an absolute 0 from me.
Well, I actually liked the suggestion, because I saw a D7 stream. I actually like the suggestion of, like, since they're dead, you know, the game kind of just starts off with hey, guess what, guys, you're dead. But it would have been kind of fun to have like a at least a short little cutscene of like one of them getting hit by a car or something, and some kind of like oh, what's going on, and then they end up in this world. I don't know, a little bit more
kind of like what I did with Isekai, where you just get hit by a fucking truck and then the goddess just goes, oops, you're dead now.
Yeah,
Sucks
especially yeah, because in I don't want to bring up another game, but this is just merely an example to the developer. You have your main character already introduced, right? Moreira is the main character. She's the girl on the Capsule Monster thing, you know, on the title screen. That's the girl. So something to lead up to that point where how she passed away. You could have left it a mystery. Right? Because mostly time when people die, they don't know they're dead, or if it's like something like just happened suddenly, they may not have recollection of how they died. But it seemed like in this game, everybody knew they died. You know, they didn't really go into details on how they died, but they knew that they was dead. So some type of, you know, introduction cutscene that could have gave us, you know, a backstory of the main character that leads up to her current situation. So as soon as you hit the start button from the main menu, it's like the screen comes in, you got all the characters sitting around the robot, and the robot said, "You're all dead." Like
congratulations.
Right off the bat, like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, whoa.
I didn't have an issue with that, to be honest.
Even Pokemon games and AAA titles, they at least give you some type of backstory leading up to the current situation. So a little bit, anything to make your demo more present, you know, with the presentation is a must. You know, Harlequin didn't mind the robot thing, just saying congratulations.
It really depends where they're trying to go with this game, I guess. Like for me, it felt like a lighthearted game thing, so they didn't want to dwell on too long on the whole "you're all dead" thing. They just wanted to move on and make it a joke, basically. I can see that, but like if they wanted to go a more sinister turn throughout the game, they could have made like an introduction cutscene where the people got killed because they saw like a capsule monster, right? Something like that. Maybe some capsule monster in the real world scared them and they fell off a cliff or whatever. That would give the game a more sinister tone, because they all dead because whoever is this omnipresence has killed them pretty much with the capsule monsters.
No, it could be something more realistic, because capsule monsters don't exist only in this world.
Yeah, it's just
you know what I mean. It could have been.
Would give it a different
it could have been some real life stuff. She could have got killed. Could have got in a car accident. Could have had a heart attack. Anything to show, you know, how did they get to?
Of course, they could do that. Like my example was just to, like give the player an immediate hook, right? Because if you introduced like how they died, like any other person, like who gives a shit, right? Mm-hmm. It's an introduction, all right, okay, but it's not really hooking. So depending on where they want to go with this game, at the end of the day, we don't know. But my example is like an immediate hook. Like, why the fuck are these capsule monsters killing the people, right? It's an immediate hook. It gets somebody interested in the game. Mm-hmm. If they just did a "this is how I died" thing, it's an information, but not really a pretty hooking one, right? That's my point.
Yeah. So I was able to play the game, and I did speak to majority of the NPCs. You do have backstories of each NPCs. You do have that. Mm-hmm. You do have inclinations of what their wish is going to be. You know what I mean? Some people wish they could see their family again. Some people wish that they can go on an adventure, you know, be wealthy. You know, the whole premise of the game is one winner, one wish. Because we all know how reincarnation works. You know, you could come back as an eagle, you come back as a worm, you come back as a poor person, you come back as anything. But when
they didn't actually specify, right? Did they specify you reincarnated as a human even?
They said that you will retain, you will go back. You will retain. They didn't really specify you was gonna be a human.
Yeah,
I just figured I just figured with reincarnation, which, you know, you could come back as any living being. But
yeah, that's exactly the thing though. Like, imagine your wish is to like see your kids once again, right? And then you reincarnate as like a fucking hedgehog in your kid's garden. So yeah, you get to see your kids once again, but you're a fucking hedgehog.
yeah,
Like, your life is over. What kind of fucking stupid wish is that?
exactly. So the main purpose to win is to get the ultimate wish, so you could at least come back however you want. Me personally, I would wish I would retain my life. I would go back to how things were. I mean, that's the ultimate wish if you care about your family. But you ain't really had no family, nobody to go back to. Of course, you want to be like powerful and all that stuff. You know, a billionaire, trillionaire, whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
I would just ask to have my memories retained, so that way you know you can come back with more insights and knowledge.
Yeah, you can make your life better yourself because of your prior knowledge. That works too. That's a great wish.
Mm-hmm.
But the shit these people wish for, they just made no sense. It's not even me saying I can't relate to humble people. Those wishes just make no sense. Like, if you get the opportunity to have the power of the fucking universe at your will, basically, like, what are you gonna wish for? An adventurous life? Are you serious? Are you out of your mind?
So the story, I mean, it's debatable. It's debatable, but the outcome is definitely worth playing. Like the that one character that I want to say, I'm not sure what his name was, but he's like the Gary of Pokemon. You can't even fight him. We're not even worthy to fight this guy. You know what I'm saying?
The dickhead.
Yeah, we're not worthy to fight this guy. Not even a battle, even though we're dominating. So he's clearly the protagonist, the antagonist. I mean, he's clearly the antagonist of the game. Maybe the final boss, the final showdown. He got the ultimate Capsule Monsters ready to go.
Probably, yeah.
For a story description standpoint, it is different. It is new. I like it. But to sell as a Kickstarter, I think it needs a whole lot more polishing. A whole lot more polishing than what we got in the demo.
And a whole lot more content too. Like, I wish the dev was here, because I want to know, because this feels like an early access of a demo. It feels unfinished even for a demo. Like, there's no content here. There's, I don't know, the sprites on the map are pretty much just black and white most of the time too. Like, I don't know. It feels unfinished even for a fucking demo.
Yeah.
It seems pretty early in its development. Like, it needs a lot more time to bake in the oven.
Yeah, so I would like I asked the dev, is this the complete demo a Kickstarter backer can play? Or is this just some thrown together stuff early in development that you're just so eager to get out that you couldn't wait any longer or something? I don't know. Because there's no story hook in the game. you're getting one fight, one like story mandatory fight is all you get in this demo. The rest is optional fucking content. Like you can gamble for more monsters, which is absolutely unnecessary because there's barely any strategy in this fucking tactics game. So I don't know. There's no hook. The battles are fairly boring because they're easy.
Alright, hold off from the battles till we get there. Hold off from the battles.
Yeah. I wasn't talking further in the battles. It's just one of the points. Like I'm missing a hook here. A demo needs a hook. And
Hey, what's up,
battle
Heroic?
hook. There's no character hook, and there's no story hook because we're not getting any story aside from the introduction, like the basic premise of the story. There's no hook.
Alright, so
A little more echoey today. Do I sound echoey to you guys? I can't really.
You sound fine to me.
You sound fine to me through the Discord. It could be.
Must be your settings then.
No, you don't sound echoey to me.
Do I sound echoey on the stream? Let me check.
The Heroic starting stuff.
Oh, I mean,
you do sound kind of echoey on the actual stream.
Yeah, but that's a D7 setting then. That's nothing I can
How?
do.
My setting is the same. Nothing has changed.
I don't know, man. If I'm fine on the Discord though, and I'm not fine on the stream,
You know what? I think
streaming...
I think you could be picking up on my mic a bit.
I don't know. Could be.
If you are not using headphones and you're using speakers, and then the speakers are going with his voice back into your microphone, then that definitely would do that.
That's probably why. So next time I will use headphones. All right.
Could be.
All right. So we're going to get into the next topic. We're going to get into the Oh man, Bandito said this podcast always have issues. Wow. Moderator, kick him from the podcast. Somebody remove him. Somebody remove him right now. I'm joking. We're going to get into what makes this game a attractive attention getter. The art style with the monsters and the tactical playthrough. The tactical game, battle system. So we're going to talk about the battle system, the art, the monsters, what we think about the whole battle system in general. Is it a great selling point for this title? Does it look good? Does it play good? Is it buggy? Is, what's wrong with it? What's good about it? What about, everything with the battle system? What do we think about it? So I'm going to start with, since we started with Psychotic Games last time, let's start with the Resident German and see what he think about the battle system and, everything in total.
To me, the battle system was absolutely fucking boring. I'm not gonna lie. This game is called Tactics.
Oh my gosh.
There is nothing. Like each of the monsters has like a regular attack and a magic attack. Most of the time the magic attack is like a ranged thing, and then the regular attack seems to be, depending on the monster, seems to be like a melee attack. It really depends. Like if the monster has like a gun, everything is ranged. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like you have this battlefield, you can move around on it, but there's no point to it. There is no point moving around. Like the best strategy you can do is just wait until the enemies come to you into your range, and they wasted their turn getting into your range, and then you just blast them away before they can even reach you. Like how is that a tactics game?
Okay.
That's the equivalent of regular attack spam.
Okay.
Just wait for them to come and then blast their asses.
Okay.
I don't know. You get random monsters. So what I did, I pretty much just picked the first option all the time. I didn't give a shit, whatever that was. I mean, what was it, physical or some shit or melee? I don't even know. I just rolled with the first option with all my money. I just got the first option.
Okay.
And that's what I took to battle, and it was no challenge whatsoever.
So
no tactics needed.
You didn't decide to pick support, magic, or physical. You just went with the physical monster.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
just went with the physical monsters. I don't give a crap.
Not even to see the difference, like how cool the monsters look. 'Cause I think I went.
ended up having a supporter for some reason anyway.
Okay.
Like one of my mons was a supporter, and I don't know why, because I clearly clicked physical all the time.
Okay.
Not sure. But that's what I used. Like I had I traded in. I did a trade once, and I got a blue monster out of that. And I had that hairy furball with the gun that's on the cover screen. That shit is OP as fuck, man. That guy has so much range and so much damage. I didn't need to do anything. I just waited for them to get in range, and then blast them with that guy. Like he one-shot most of the enemies. And it's not even a rare thing. I think that thing is just a gray one, because there is different colors. And I think like a green one is more of a rare type. But that thing's just a straight up common and was blasting enemies left and right. I don't know.
I got the you know, I just dealt with the default ones, and I got the rock, and then I got the magic knight whoever, and then the mask bros or whatever. And,
yeah, I think the starting monster is not even random, is it? I got the rock mambo as a first one too.
Yeah, the first monster I think is always rock mambo. Yeah.
Oh, that's lame.
But yeah, it should have been random, I think, for that. But you know, it's just it's just really, you know, because I really like tactics games. Like I'm a big fan of tactics games, but this didn't feel like it was tactical, because there was just one skill or one attack, and you just got to get
right.
And the AI seemed kind of dumb, and I don't know what plugin this is. I know this isn't LETBS. That's the plugin that I use, but that plugin comes with its own set of problems. The screen was also going too fast. I think they haven't the you know, if your monitor is above 60 hertz, the game goes, you know, twice as fast. If you're on 120 hertz, or I'm on 144, so the game was like way too painfully too fast. And I don't think that's intentional, but that also, you know, kind of bugged me.
Yeah, controlling the cursor was really hard at times. Like, Jesus Christ, lock on the enemy, please.
Yeah, that was a battle itself. That was the more tactical part in the game, trying to get the
part is getting the cursor right, because
when I had my hands in this game, you know, I'm thinking, you know, like Shining Force. I mean, not Shining Force, or Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem, you know, that type of battle style. It kind of have that, like when you attack an enemy and they're close range like that, they have a chance to counterattack and stuff. You know what I mean?
They did that here too, though. I feel.
Yeah, and you could like, you know, they have the little graphics, like you could pitch up with each other. You know, see their stat and see your stats, and see, you know, who's gonna do more damage. I think that part was cool. The problem is the lack of actually actions that you can actually do. The game is, the battle system is the weakest. It's not what you expect. Like, I didn't find any tactical. Everybody, it seemed like they did the same thing. If you was,
I mean, it is what you expect. Like, it's exactly that, but it's missing all the bells and whistles of that.
Yeah, and support.
It's so bare bones. It's pretty much just the first step of doing a system like that. That's what that is. It's missing everything that makes it good, though.
Yeah, it really did, because when I was playing it, You know, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna get a support monster. I'm strategizing in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, support means healing or adding buffs and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So when I got my support monster, I think I forgot what it was. I think it was the egg. Nah, it wasn't the egg. It was somebody else that cast blind. The support, I think it was the wing, the ear or something. Blind is a support move. I mean,
It could be.
somebody. I'm thinking healing or buffs, but blind.
It depends, I guess. Like you can have like a if you think like MMORPG, you could have um like a warlock support that's not like buffing but hindering the enemies. That would still be a support, right?
Okay.
He's not dealing straight up damage, but he's preventing damage from the enemy. That's still support.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it could be a support skill. Like if it's not damage focused, like if you play League of Legends, for example, like if you play support, there's all kinds of things. You could do healing, shielding, but you could also just interrupt the enemy, like prevent damage, right? It's still supporting.
Okay. And the enemy that the person that was doing that was, you see the question marks on the battlefield, right? Those are supposedly be the rewards for the Kickstarter. So I guess the developer had this idea where whoever support the Kickstarter will receive or will have a chance to get these Kickstarter monsters, just like the one I just landed on the screen. The epic.
How did you know there are a Kickstarter reward?
I didn't know.
Oh, there it says Kickstarter 5.
Yeah, it's a question mark that says Kickstarter number 1, number 2, number 5.
I had like 3 of them. They was random. I got them randomly in the gotcha.
I see. Yeah, I didn't get those. Interesting.
But why do I have them? And getting them messed the demo up because one, they're so overpowered. That take a lot of strategy out the game that a person who's playing for the first time should be figuring out what to do. You know, is there any elemental weaknesses amongst the enemies? Is it like
I didn't find any.
Is it like, because there's only one element and that's the fire, and the fire monster, the rock monster, but there's no moves to indicate that, you know, these are elemental weaknesses or whatnot. It feels like everything is the same based on their attack power and their defense. You know what I mean? They got high attack, they're going to do pretty decent attack, you know, versus somebody with lower defense who can't sustain a lot of damage. They're going to die quick. So my question mark was killing people in one hit, because in this game you attack the enemy, they attack you, and you could counter them, and vice versa. They attack you, you could tap back, which the Kickstarter monster was so overpowered, you know, I didn't really have any problems with the game, and that messes the whole demo up. To me, like it just.
Yeah, of course. What's the point? If you're giving Kickstarters like overpowered equipment or monsters in this case, you're defeating the point of your game. Like you're removing content from the player.
Yeah, maybe the Kickstarter, though, isn't a reward for being a Kickstarter backer. Maybe it's just that it's a placeholder monster for if the Kickstarter raised a certain amount of money or something like that.
It could be, but should that be in the demo, though?
No.
No. And there's no the Kickstarter to justify why we got these monsters.
Yeah, it's
just
mess.
The Kickstarter is coming soon.
Yeah, but like that doesn't mean anything. Like my Kickstarter been up for ages. It just says coming soon.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm thinking these monsters is programmed in the game, and
shouldn't be. Should not be.
And they're available to anybody, regardless of who backed the Kickstarter or not. They're available to anyone.
Yeah, they shouldn't be there in any way. Like, if they're placeholders, they shouldn't be there. If they're not placeholders, they shouldn't be there anyway, because they're Kickstarter stuff. They shouldn't be in the demo, no matter what. And since you're still on the combat system topic, like, as I said before, it's missing all the bells and whistles. This is so bare bones that it's lacking all of the things that made these systems great back in the day. Like, I played a couple of Fire Emblem games. I'm not the biggest fan of a battle system like that, but the thing that made it enjoyable for me was always like when you attack some unit, you'd always get these little cutscenes where they show the bigger sprites and they're doing cool shit there. Like the swordsmen would attack and it would look cool. I've enjoyed watching that, like, more than playing the game. And so this is just a ball is firing. Wow, it's so uninteresting and so boring. Like, then the presentation is lacking. The monster sprites are too small for the tile set. The monsters look like a 9-year-old drew some knockoff Pokemon to me. Like, it's just so bare bones and boring to me.
There's not even like really any animations or any, like, you don't see them like actually slash the enemy or anything. Like, it's just like you see the number pop up and that's it.
You see like like a ball or something. When it's a projectile, you see a ball flying, but that's pretty much it.
And when it comes to like the little cutscene thing, I really like that too. The game where I really like that, or the game series where I really like that with this type of game was the Front Mission, like Front Mission 1 or 3 or whatever. It would show like it would show like a little scene of like the robots attacking each other, and then like if it blew their arm off, you'd see like the arm explode off the robot.
Oh,
and shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they like did, and it did it with every attack. So every attack, it was like a little cutscene.
Oh, yeah, man, that's super cool. Like, I just know it from like I played Fire Emblem on the N64. That was the first one I tried, and that cutscene stuff was really selling it to me. Like, I'm not the biggest tactics fan, but that shit was just amazing. Like, each of the units with their cutscene, they had their own personality in a sense, because they would all move differently and have their own like cool little moves they're doing, matching to what they looked like, right? If you have like your badass commander that's like doing protagonist like moves in their battles, that looks cool, and even like the peasant like swordsmen, they still had cool moves that matched their like outfit and design. And this is just a still sprite with a number popping up. Like, I've been in contact with like some storefronts and been talking to people on how to like make a demo, right? And most of them tell you to make like a minimum viable product or a Kickstarter. So you don't need to spend like $1 million just to get a demo going, because you run a Kickstarter to get the funding for the game, obviously. So that's what they've been telling me too. But I feel like if you do a Kickstarter, you kind of want your demo to play as closely to your vision of the full game you're having, because you're trying to sell the game to these people. You want their money. So you should give them the best possible experience, so they want to give you their money, is what I'm thinking, at least.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, I had so much expectation with this. I just feel like if this the whole game, this is what the whole game is going to be. Like, and this is the problem. This is the problem. You can get all the monsters on one screen. You get all the monsters on one screen, right?
Oh yeah, you can just repeatedly fight them.
Repeatedly fight the enemy and just keep gotchaing. There's no hint of evolution, like evolving the monsters. Maybe
that's a missing part too. Like, you're making like a monster game and there's no evolution in there. That's weird.
And if I could be mistaken. Each monster may have a different tier, because I seen some with white letters in their name, blue letters,
green,
blue. So each monster could be a random tier that you get, but still, I mean, it's not really.
I mean, it doesn't mean anything if all they can do is attack and magic attack, right?
Yeah. So I would have had it like this. Certain monsters, there's no even a reason to have the trading mechanic if you can get the monster just by winning fights and going to the gacha. Because I haven't seen any instant where you got a duplicate monster.
Oh, I had a duplicate. I think I had 2 duplicates even.
From the gacha?
Yeah. I had 2 gray ones. I had like a second Bolger guy and one other guy. So I can kind of see the trading. Like if you had a duplicate one or they had a specific one you wanted,
man,
I could see the trading happening. But like in this demo, there's just no reason to.
I had all the
it's
monsters that
fight.
I had all the monsters, probably, but 3 that they wanted.
Oh damn!
I ain't lying, bro.
I had going crazy, but
bro, I had
for me.
Cause I would win in battles and like I would get in 3 stars like crazy. Like them kit starter monsters, man, they just gave me like all types of bread. You know what I mean? You get 125 per battle. So each battle you get for 3 stars, the monster costs 75 gold to buy.
Yeah,
so if I got
2 bulls every fight.
Yeah, every fight I could buy 2 monsters.
Yeah, it's weird. Like the entire structure of the demo is weird. Like you're giving us 1 story fight, and the rest is just optional. Like battle the other dudes for no reason. Because there is no point in collecting the monsters at this point because the game doesn't go any further. There's no need to collect them. No reason to at all.
And it seems like everybody got the same monster. They all do the same thing. There's nothing cool about what they do. All you see on my screen is nothing but question marks. Then the battle HUD itself, it doesn't automatically choose the monster for you. You have to look at the side battle HUD and choose that monster. So if I got a couple question marks, I gotta make an educational guess to pick which question mark is up next.
Oh, it did that for me though. Like it auto-selected the monster that's turn it was. It did that for me.
Oh, it ain't do it.
Also, yeah, it would have been cool to have different types of attacks too, because they were all the same type of attack, like just magic attack and you know melee.
Yeah, regular attack. Yeah,
and
too basic, too bare bones.
Right. There could be one. You know, there could be one monster that's like a sniper where you can only shoot in a straight line but from really far away, or like another idea where the attack is 5 columns that are 2 squares apart that rise, and then if the monsters happen to be on the right spot, then it would make sense.
You need all these kind of mechanics, like skills that work differently and have different areas of effect and different effects on the enemy. You need like a weakness thing. Every tactics game does it. Basically, the rock paper scissors system that's like in every game, like sword, speed, spears, or the other way around, or whatever it was. You need stuff like that. This is too bare bones even for a demo. Like this is a proof of concept, if anything. This does not sell your Kickstarter campaign. No way.
What do you think they could do differently to to make it more presentable without them having to like gut everything down and start over?
Well, they don't have to gut everything and start over.
They need to gut nothing. They need to add.
They need to add more. Like they need
to add more like mechanics, actual mechanics. Like there needs to be more than attack.
It has to feel like you're like you have to implement a strategy to win.
Yeah. Which
it doesn't feel like that right now.
There's no tactics in this game called tactics. Like
Wouldn't they have a better chance of just making it like Netsucom. I don't know if y'all guys play that. It's
No.
like a Pokemon game that heroic mission. It's like a Pokemon game. You get it like on your phone and stuff like that, where you just battle one Pokemon at a time. Then if your Pokemon is
already
weak,
at the end of the footage.
yeah, your Pokemon is weak, you just change them out and whatnot. I think it need to be played like that instead of the tactical thing ain't working for me. It's not.
Of course it's not, because it's missing everything that makes a tactical game good.
You know what I
Even
mean?
I can
Like,
see that, and I don't even like tactic games.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like,
I like tactics games, but yeah, it needs more time in the oven. It's just
for me, it takes too long. Like when I played Fire Emblem, those battles take for fucking ever. Like it kind of went boring for me. But like, I still had the appeal of like, that's what I preach with the action sequences too. Like, don't just do basic ass action sequences that are quick and easy. Like, you need something for the eye. It needs to look appealing. That's the point of an action sequence, is to look good.
or they could have did like when an enemy attacked another enemy, it could have been like a little action, like a sequence too.
Yeah, like make that battle scene like every Fire Emblem does. Give us a little battle screen that does some sick animations and looks cool, some cool sound effects and stuff. That would at least get the looks right a little bit, but that's a lot of work, of course, because all you got right now is like tiny ass sprites that look like a 9-year-old drew them. So I don't know.
I kind of disagree.
Man, look at that title screen, man. If you're telling me that little hairball with the eye and the fucking gun doesn't look like a 9-year-old druid, you out of your mind.
I mean, I like the art. The art looks cool.
I mean, it's
unique. Yeah, I mean, it's better than the,
of course. But like for me, it looks like a 9-year-old druid.
Heroic. I kind of disagree with the fights need to be short, because those who play Final Fantasy Tactics grew and loved that game. The fights were not short in that game. They were fun. They were strategic. They
felt high, very tense,
very high in the music.
High stakes.
Yeah.
So I mean the Fire Emblem fights had high stakes too, right? They have this permadeath thing too going on.
But I like the permadeath because what it does is it's like it forces you into like, this battle was super hard and I barely beat it over again, or am I gonna move on? And then you know it adds where the loss feels real, and that makes it, you get like more sucked into the strategy. But that's my opinion. Everybody's different.
Oh man, Colo Coco and Bandito. I'm about to ban both of these guys. About to ban them. But of course, Simple Gaming, the lore of action sequencing wants action sequencing. I like the art looking like it was made by a 9-year-old. Yeah, the art looks great. Like, the art looks great. You know what I mean? But the end game, even somebody said, is that BMO from Adventure Time? You know, the Game Boy looking character? Like, it seems like some of these arts are copyright. Or close to. You know, the Game Boy looking monster?
I have not watched that. I mean, it just looked like a Game Boy to me. I haven't watched Adventure Time.
But it's about that. It's a character named BMO who resembles a Game Boy. This character looked just like him in the game.
Yeah, it's true. It looks just like him. I'm looking at it.
Look that up.
Yeah.
BEMO.
Yeah, you're gonna be like
League of Legends. Like, there's a character skin for that too. Oh, really? It kind of does, yeah.
Ain't no kinda. It is.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, for me, the entire game is like not really appealing. It's missing polish and features. Like, it's so bare bones. It's just a functional, like, proof of concept, like a tech demo or something. Like,
Yeah.
Something to show I can do a tactics system. Yeah, sure, I guess you can, but like it's missing everything else that makes it a good game. Like it's too short. It's not hooking you with any story or any battles or anything really. The characters are not interesting. Your character is not interesting. The most interesting character is the fucking robot because he's so sarcastic and so congratulations you fucking died. That's the only thing interesting in this game for me. Like it's that character because he's so whack. But everything else is just there.
And
there's no point to it.
And the map that they're standing on, you think it's just you just feel enclosed, claustrophobic.
Yeah, the maps we didn't really cover the maps yet. The maps are just there because the player needs ground to walk on. That's their only purpose. There is no reason why this is like a green alley. This could be anything. This could be a straight up just glass plane floating in space. It wouldn't matter. So yeah, the maps are just there to be functional, to like give the player something to walk on. That's the only reason these maps exist.
Yeah.
But I guess they have some exploration. I remember when you go into the first like real room after this tutorial scene. There's this piece of paper that flies in your face, and this gives you a hint of something being hidden. I mean, I didn't bother because it's a demo. There's no reason to look for secrets in a demo, because either the secret is not in there yet, or the conclusion to the secret is not in there yet because it's a demo. Right, so I'm not secret hunting in demos. That's pointless. So yeah, but they hinting at exploration, which I find weird because this is clearly not an exploration game.
No, it seemed like you go from one screen to the other screen, which is another part of the challenge. You choose whoever you want to fight. You can't fight Hunter, who is the antagonist. You can't fight him. You fight. You get pit up against a person, maybe a different person. You eliminate them. You beat them. You move on. I think it's rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat.
Man, but if it's that's like a 15-minute game at best. Or let's make it a 30-minute game at best with the amount of characters that's in there. Like, if you make a game like this, you need to really lean into your character and make them interesting, because that's the only interactions you're having in your game. Like, you're just going from fight to fight with characters nobody gives a shit about because they're so unrelatable to anyone. They're not interesting. So what are you trying to sell me here? Just a random tactics game with knock-off not Pokemon? I don't know, man. I'm not buying it. Like, you're telling a story about dead people and their wishes, but like it's boring. They don't have interesting wishes or concepts of wishes. Like, they get to pick within the realms of reality or whatever the robot said. So there's a lot of options. And you chose to make characters that boring in a game that's all about the characters that are in them. Like, there's like 6 or 8 characters, and that's it. It's not like you're moving like a regular RPG. You're moving from town to town where there's a whole bunch of faceless NPCs that nobody cares about. You only have these characters, so they better be interesting, but they're not. So all that's left is your underbaked tactics battle system that's not fun. So I don't know.
And another look at the battle, the quality is just not there. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather they use the official art they have and just size them down.
I mean, that's what they did, didn't they?
Don't look like it.
It does.
Yeah,
Look at the Rock Mambo picture here on the screen right now.
Man,
it's
shit.
Exactly like the sprite.
Look at the guy. Look like who?
I don't know why they made a not Pokemon look like a fucking human. I don't fucking know. It looked weird to me too, but who knows,
Oh
man?
my
As you
god!
always say, this is RPG Maker. You can make whatever the fuck you want.
This is true. This is true.
So yeah, I don't know, man. For me, this demo, it feels incomplete for
So...
even a demo. I don't think this will give you any sales. The only thing
I
I
won't
can
say
see
that.
happening,
I won't say that. It won't get no
this is
sales.
not backing your.
I would just say
no way.
I would just say that before you launch your Kickstarter officially, as far as taking money, really work on this demo and making it like a really good, like I would say good like hour or two long demo that has those detailed features and gets you to the point where you can see what the concept of this game is, that you'd actually want to buy it.
There's one other thing, like the developer is all about selling LGBTQ games, right? So there was nothing of that in the game, in the demo, nothing at all.
As of now.
So, as of now. So the only thing I can see happening is if they expand the demo and include some kind of LGBTQ stuff, that's when this demo will sell the Kickstarter, because LGBTQ people jump at that shit like it's warm bread. Everything that has this tag, they gonna buy it, no matter what.
Just like the fat game.
And from my perspective, I mean, this is just from a making a game perspective.
Yeah.
From my position, I kind of try to make a game that would just appeal to anyone, really, because
Exactly.
I don't know I mean, like if a game is good, like everyone will like it pretty much, or at least respect it. Oh, it's not my type of game, but it's a good game. But when you cater to a specific audience, you might actually have much smaller market in the end.
Yeah, but it's much more dedicated, really. Like the way it works, like I've experienced it a little bit here and there. It's kind of the same with like stuff like furry art, right? It's a small like community, but they spending that bread like crazy.
You think
Like,
so?
they pay, yeah, absolutely, man. If you're trying to sell like furry porn, Jesus Christ, you could be rich in no time.
There we go with the porn talk again.
And it's kind of the same with the tag, with the LGBT tag. I'm not blaming these people, like they want to be represented, I can see that, but if you're making a presence as a developer who makes it a point of making LGBTQ games specifically, and then you don't put anything in that demo, what's the point? If you're going to me trying to sell me a car that's blue, and then you bring me a car that's not blue, what's the point of you introducing yourself as a guy that sells blue cars?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like what huh?
I just felt like the game was a little bit cheesy on the how it ended. Thank you for playing. Like, why? Like, come on now. You got the area block. Somebody's behind that robot. It could have been the boss for that second round.
Yeah, it's not
at least give us that. Give us that. Give us that. Give us the first area a boss, the second area a boss. Then maybe something interesting happen, like a cliffhanger. I'm like, oh my god, this was so awesome. I can't wait to see what happens next. We ain't get none of that.
Yeah, they tried though. Like the paper you get to your face when you start, that's what they try to hint at. Like this letter, like higher being. I hope someone finds this thing and stuff like that. They try to hint at like a bigger thing going on. But there's nothing else in there. Like you don't get a second point in the story. Like you're trying to get hooked, but the demo ends before you get the chance to be hooked. Like all you get is this little text box with the letter, and that's it. You never find anything else. You never find like some prisoner of this virtual whatever world, or what kind of story is in this game. I don't know, but you're never reaching a point where you're actually hooked. You get an introduction to it. You get like a hint at like a plot twist or some sinister thing going on, but nothing else. Like the demo ends right after that battle, and that's it. So you don't get a chance to get hooked by anything in this game. Not the story, not the premise, not the battle system, nothing.
Well, I just had a thought. Maybe the announcer could be corrupted.
It could
You know,
be, it could be anything.
maybe he could be lying. Maybe he could be representing Lucifer and lying. You know, and
Of
maybe
course.
anything can happen. But
But
I
you're
don't
not
know,
seeing
man.
any of that. That's the problem. You're not getting any other hint. That you're just getting that one letter, and then you do one story battle, and that's it. That's where the demo ends. You have no chance to be hooked into this game.
And I wanted to see if there was any areas after the second area there where that says thank you for playing the Kickstarter. So I opened the game in RPG Maker and deleted the robot that was standing in the way. And it turns out there is one more battle after there, but the battle doesn't end. So after
Look
you
at this!
defeat the enemies,
Look at this guy.
so after you defeat the enemies, what happens is that it's just allies walking around in the battle, like as if the battle didn't end, even though I defeated all the enemies.
So you thinking this is all that is in the game, like available?
No. When I opened it up in RPG Maker, the files are encrypted, so I can't see the image files or anything like that. But I can see the maps, and I did see Area 3 was the last area that was in there. So I think there is an Area 3 and stuff in it, and I saw events in it and stuff. But it's not the part where that second battle ends and the next part keeps going. That part, I think it's just something in between that's not.
So
Yeah.
Area 3 was the last finished area based on the files.
Well, it exists, probably
it
unfinished.
exists in the project. Yeah, in the project.
Let's see when this was updated.
But I mean, even if it existed, if it was just Area 3 and it's just another battle with like a different person, it wouldn't matter. The game would still be bad. At
19
that point.
hours
you
ago.
You need to improve the mechanics and everything else.
Yes,
Like,
of course.
adding more areas does nothing for this game.
Well, I was just seeing if there was.
Yeah,
anything
of
else.
course. I mean, when you have like an 8-minute demo like that, I would be curious too.
Yeah, literally, this could be done because you really just need to get 3 monsters. You can get that ASAP with the money you get. Then you could just go fight the enemy, and win that battle. And you probably speed run this game. Like, who could speed run the demo and get the fastest time?
Yeah.
And that'll
As
give
I
you
said,
the
I took,
reward.
Like 8 minutes, and after that I checked out the trading and fought one other guy for no reason, just to give it a little more time.
I took like 20 minutes, but I did
reason.
talk. But I did talk to everybody and all that too.
Yeah, I
so-
spoke to everybody too.
Yeah,
didn't do
the demo is like you get the introduction, you buy 3 monsters from the gacha machine, and then there's one mandatory battle. The way it works is essentially you go into an area and everybody's just running around, and you can fight everyone as a training battle and get money that way, but there's always one mandatory battle that opens up the next area. And you only get one of those battles. Like you go into area 1, you fight the battle, and then you go into area 2, and that's it. There's no battle because the way is blocked by the robot telling you this is the end of the demo. So if you don't talk to everyone and read all the shitty dialogue nobody cares about, this demo is about 8 minutes long.
Yep, that is true. So
that's
short. It's a
why I
very
keep
short
saying
one.
It's undercooked, underdeveloped. It's not a demo. It's basically a proof of concept. That more is it not? It's just a proof of concept, like a tech demo.
Yeah, like hey, let me get back to you in a week. I'll have something whipped up, and you can see that I can't make this game, but it's just like very early in its process.
It's risky, especially for a commercial game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm relatively new to the Kickstarter business, but I do not see this demo getting anyone to back this project.
All
I
right,
don't
so
see it.
the developer, I'm looking at their itch page, and one person said really good, too bad it's too short, at least the main story. The developer said, oh, thank you for the feedback. If you want, each character actually has 3 different conversations you can have with them each round. It's all optional and reveals a bit more lore for those who wanted more.
Yeah,
If you
but
still
what
think the
you
game's a
failed to
bit
do-
short, I have not only expanded the number of Capsule Monsters, but did a quite bit of quality of life improvements in preparation for the Kickstarter.
Ugh.
So that was a 10 months ago response, followed up by a 2 months ago response.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Like, it's cool that you have like optional background, but the thing you failed at is making interesting characters in the first place.
The characters do look interesting.
They don't.
You don't
How,
think
how
so?
are they interesting? In what way?
The guy
is
with the
any of
mohawk,
characters
the guy with the
interesting?
mohawk looked pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I mean that's time fantasy sprites. They look cool, but they are boring characters.
And the
Like,
monsters
do you
looks pretty
care,
cool.
Do you care about any of the background stories of these?
Do you care about Carter?
Hunter
Care
is
about
interesting,
Maria? Do you
yeah.
care about Maria?
You don't even remember the names of these characters. Don't tell me they're good characters. They look cool because they're cool design. They're like, I don't know, time.
It's
fantasy
hard to
sprites or
remember
something.
characters when you only played the demo for 8 minutes.
I mean, if they would have been interesting characters, you would have known because you would be interested in the characters.
Yeah, my gosh.
The only reason you probably remember the dickhead's name is because he's a dickhead. He stood out from the rest of the others.
Yeah, and you couldn't
But
fight
the
him.
others is just a random fucking crowd nobody cares about.
Uh-huh.
And what about
Red-
what about Grandma Wendy?
What about her? She wanted an adventurous life. That's fucking ridiculous. That's why I remember her. But they're not interesting characters. These characters have 0 ambitions. Like, they get a wish within the realms of reality to get reincarnated as whatever the fuck they want.
Mm-hmm.
And they have 0 ambitions. They want to have an adventure in their life. What the fuck does that mean in this day and age? What's an adventurous life? There is no adventurers guild and no monsters and no nothing. What's an adventure?
Maybe interstellar travel.
I mean, maybe. Who knows? It could be, could not be. I don't know what that old granny defines as an adventure. Probably not space travel. You know what I mean? It's like, it makes no sense. Those characters aren't interesting. Like, if somebody of these characters would have been like, I wanna fucking wish for fucking world domination, that would have been more interesting. I mean, he's a dickhead probably, but it's interesting because this guy has ambitions. This guy wanna dominate the world with the wish. That's way more interesting than somebody saying, oh, I wanna see my kids again. What?
Yeah, there's lots of
I
things
don't
to
know.
wish for.
I don't know. Like, I just give my suggestions. That's all I can
Oh,
do.
of course, man. Of course, like that's what I'm saying. Like, it's nice if you add extra optional lore, but you need interesting characters for anyone to care.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that Rock Mambo was an interesting character.
Yeah. Did you read his dialogue?
No, but, well, yeah, I'm wondering, are these capsule monsters sentient? Like, are they able to like speak
I
or?
mean, probably not. It's a rock with a slingshot. I don't know. He must be feared among his kin, slinging his kin like that around. I don't know.
And is it right to make them fight? Like, are they alive and we're
Man.
making them fight? Like,
Fucking capsule monster cruelty, man.
Hmm.
I mean, it's probably all right. I mean, you know, it's all not real. They all dead.
I would have made this game an adventure game where we live on the planet where it's capsule monsters. That's the thing. That's, You want to be the ultimate Capsule Monster trainer, and you
So,
win
man.
tournaments. You know, you're copying Pokemon, but everybody else is doing it and it's working for them.
Yeah, but to me, they took all the worst design choices of these kind of game and put it into one game. Like one of the fun parts of Pokemon is traveling the world and finding different Pokemon and fighting them and trying to catch them. So what they do in this game, they give you a fucking gacha machine and give you a random fucking monster. Like, wow, great, fantastic gameplay.
Oh my god!
That's killed. Like, another point that's interesting in Pokemon type games is like exploring, like finding random like TMs that could give your Pokemon skills and whatnot. Well, that's not in this game. There's no exploration, so that's killed too. Like they took all the worst design decisions and put them into one game, and I don't understand why.
They try to be different.
They still have time to adjust it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a demo. They could still fix it.
They have plenty of time. There's followers of the Kickstarter, but the Kickstarter ain't live. You know, once you start having that Kickstarter and have that set amount, people's going to look at your game differently. You know what I mean? Then versus just having this demo out on itch.io where there's hundreds and thousands of games just like yours that's out for attention. But when you release that Kickstarter, you know, you're on a whole different realm. And when people play this game, they're like, this is it. This is what I'm going to get. And people on your itch.io page are saying the game is too short. It needs to be different. So they're telling you what you need to do. But me playing it for the first time a couple days ago, I don't see anything that was warranted a change by the concerns on the itch.io page. Yeah, we get 3 lures. Yeah, we get 3 lures per character, but are they random lures? Will they start saying the same thing after speeding them 3 times? I don't know. I'm going to test that theory out. You know what I mean? Nothing told me to speak to them 3 more times to get backstory. All I was presented with was battle, trade, and talk. That's pretty much it. So talking to them ain't going to do nothing. Trading with them hardly going to do anything because I already had all the monsters that they really wanted. And battling is not really going to do anything because the battle is not really fun. So you got to at least get me something out that makes me want to talk to your NPCs, that makes me want to explore every inch of your map.
Yeah, it's not in there. It's so bare bones. It's just functional. Fun hasn't been implemented yet.
So I mean, like I said, you know, your game is very attracting. It's like a fishing hook. You got a nice art style with a girl and a whole bunch of monsters. You know, that reminds you of Pokemon, Digimon, you know, any mon, you know, that you're attracting all types of players from the 90s, from the 80s, because majority of us that were born in the 80s grew up on Pokemon. We like Pokemon. We was 12 years old, 10, 13, 14-year-olds when Pokemon came out, and we enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Digimon came out, we enjoyed it. You know, then anything that is nostalgic, you even got the chiptune music, you know, that brings back the NES style music and stuff.
The music, man.
and you're definitely gonna get those nostalgic players that like games like this. But when you play it, you know, the battle system is what it is, but it's not really enough to, like, you know, sell it. It's not really enough to sell it. The gacha machine, I think it's a bad idea. Me personally, I think it's a bad idea because you could get all the freaking monsters. You could get all the monsters that you want, you know what I mean, in one go. You just keep fighting these easy battles, getting the money, and just keep gacha and monsters. Keep
because
rinse and
they
repeat.
dropped the ball though. Like the idea itself is not bad. Like imagine if they had different tiers of gadget machines. Like there could be hidden gadget machines for more money that give you rare gadgets.
Yeah. That's why I would.
But they didn't do it. They
I would
just
have did that.
implemented the bare bones version.
I would have did.
Just...
I would have did that. Just like you said. 200 would give you something between a good monster and a rare.
Yeah, anything. There's a lot of stuff you could do with the gadget machines, but they didn't. Like they have a relatively interesting premise, right? You got a tactic system with not Pokemons, with a Pokemon knockoff. That's fairly interesting. It's nostalgic in the way. Then they have the story premise of everyone is dead and the winner gets one wish. That's fairly interesting as well. And immediately after the intro, they drop the fucking ball. The gameplay is boring. The gadget machine is boring. The design of the monsters is boring because they all doing the same shit. They drop the ball immediately after the intro.
This guy say boring one more time. I'm gonna fall up my chair.
It is boring though. It is boring.
Oh man. I mean, look at the votes. People think this is a mid-tier game. So they think it's a good game.
Out of their mind, man. They just out of their mind.
They think it's a good game. I mean, the people see, and it all depends on the people. The people like it.
You know what a mid-tier game is nowadays? It's hit. What does a mid-tier game mean in a world where there's thousands of games released every fucking day? What does a mid-game mean?
It means it's just okay.
It means it's okay, and okay is the little brother of shit. A mid-tier game doesn't get sales.
It can if it has the right marketing.
Yeah, if it has the right marketing, a pile of shit can get sales too. But does this guy have the right marketing? I don't see any.
He potentially can.
Yeah, it can. But the thing is, everything's possible. But is it probable? No, it is not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you live your life based on what's possible or what's probable?
What's probable.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you do. So what does a mid-tier game do in the world of Steam? It does nothing. It's not even getting 10 reviews.
It gets forgotten.
Exactly. So you're spending thousands of hours drawing these Pokemon for nothing because nobody's gonna buy it because nobody's gonna know about it.
And that is true, man. We're not trying to discourage the developer. All we are is three guys sitting in front, and who knows what, we could be living in a horror home. Who knows? And just rating RPG games.
Of course, man. I'm just speaking from my experience, right?
That's all we do.
A mid-tier game already, which had no advertising, and I know what happens to mid-tier games. They're not gonna go anywhere. I didn't even get 10 reviews on that shit. The only way this game gets 10 reviews is because it has an LGBTQ tag. That's the only reason.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Not because of the art, the girl in front with the monsters, the wacky monsters.
Nah.
The excellent looking gotcha machine that gives you the excellent looking monsters like Flameo and the rock guy and the ear guy, the nose guy.
That's the best Pokemon ever. The question mark, man.
The question mark.
Creative.
So you don't think so?
Fuck. The art style doesn't bother me that much. I think it has the, some kind of like weirdly cute appeal, but I could see to some
it's okay.
It's okay.
The game.
It's mid tier.
Yeah, that's exactly the problem though. Like the art style is okay. It's passable. Like you don't have to like it, I guess, but you can like it. But it's not only the art style. The design of these monsters is fucking boring too. Like one is a fucking Game Boy, one is a fucking hare with a gun, one is a literal fucking rock with a slingshot. Like that's so uncreative.
It is cute though.
You crazy.
It's cute. Who don't like BMO from Adventure Time immortalized in a RPG Maker game?
I don't even know fucking BMO. It just looked like a Game Boy to me, and I was like, Nintendo gonna sue you.
Yeah, Brent. We did mention that earlier in the podcast. The little cutscenes.
Yeah. I did that too. It's one of the things why I even liked Fire Emblem. Like the little cutaways, those were cool, and those gave the units character too. But those Pokemons, they have no character. They're just like, as I said, they look like 9-year-old designs. That's what I would have doodled in school when I wanted to make my own Pokemon. I would have made a rock with a slingshot because I'm 9 years old.
Can you do that in RPG Maker? That's the thing. Can you add those cutscenes in RPG Maker?
Of course you can.
Okay.
Man, you could make this a literal battle scene with this system. When you attack someone, call the fucking battle scene with 2 sprites, make an action sequence, and then end the battle scene. Probably. That's probably how it could work.
That would have been,
I don't know this tactics.
That would have been better. That would have been better. But given the fact that everybody died in 2 hits, maybe the developer didn't think it was worth it.
I don't know what.
Because you died in 2 hits.
Was thinking making this thing at all.
Oh Lord. They was thinking
I really
they
don't
wanted
want to be the one hating on everything, but this demo just lacks everything a demo needs.
And you're right. Like I agree with you on this. Like you are right. Like the game is, I would not even. It's good that they didn't even started the Kickstarter yet, because it's a lot of stuff need to be reworked.
Yeah, we don't know what the plans are. Maybe they want to expand the demo before starting. We don't know what they're doing. They're not here. We cannot ask them. They didn't give us any more information, so we can just judge it by what we got. So all we see is a Kickstarter starting soon and a demo that doesn't do what a demo is supposed to do.
Yeah, there's not enough meat and potatoes on this demo.
Yeah, there's nothing here.
I guess y'all need to go back and talk to each NPC 3 different times.
Fuck that, man. I don't give a shit about these NPCs. They're not interesting.
You don't like Carter or Keith? Keith and Carter look pretty cool.
It's not about how they look.
Wendy.
Nobody cares about how they look.
The old woman Wendy said call her Grandma. Grandma Wendy. Remember her?
Yeah, call her Grandma Wendy like every other grandma. And ask her what a fucking adventure means in this modern age.
Y'all ain't no good, man. I swear.
If you have this amount of limited characters, you need characters. You need personalities. And not a fucking granny that says, I want to go on an adventure.
So we can all agree that the battles, we spent a lot of time on the battle system, probably 40 minutes on the battle system.
5 minutes, yeah.
And it needs a lot of, like, it could definitely revive your game. You definitely need to work on the battle system. Me, personally, I probably would have went with what Harlequin said. You know, once you crash with a different monster, go into a little battle scene, you know, choose a move. That way you see a proper animation, proper enemy sprites. And because you already said your game has been inspired by Fire Emblem, so you might as well give us a Fire Emblem, mechanic. Because a lot of people always base their game on something else, and it never plays like that game.
Yeah, and they
so you got a lot of
all the time.
So you got a lot of disappointed people that's playing your game. Like, oh man, this game ain't like that. They capping. I want my refund. I want my money back from the Kickstarter. Real talk. Like, I'm taking my pre-order away and all that stuff. You know what I mean? They're gonna move on to
a lot of games that start with this game was inspired by X game.
Yeah.
A lot of games do this and they do it wrong. Like when many games say this is inspired by retro RPGs, what they mean is there's no saving, there's only save points. There is no customization, there is pixel art there is 8-bit music and stuff like that. They're implementing all the bad things from back in the day that were made like that, like static enemy sprites. That's a thing from the past because of limited memory. They couldn't possibly make animated enemies too, so they focused on players. So when an RPG Maker game these days says it's retro inspired, they have static enemies. Just because that's retro. It's not what made the retro games good, it's just a thing that was a technical issue back in the day, but that's what they call retro. They're not implementing whatever made retro games cool, they're just implementing the bad stuff.
Well, yeah, I've seen that before too. I mean, I try to like take what was good from back then, but also add new stuff that's available now that will enhance the formula.
Exactly, that's what I think should be a modern day retro inspired game. Make it look retro, make it look like 8-bit or 16-bit, whatever the fuck you like. That's okay. But nothing prevents you from making it a modern standardized game, like giving me all the options a modern day game should have, giving me animated enemies. That's not making the game less retro. It just makes it look better. It improves upon the whole retro formula. Don't just implement all the bad stuff from old retro games. Like old retro games had a lot of grinding, for example. That's what old retro games did because they had no choice. You don't need to implement that to call your game retro. There's no need to.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes grinding is a way to kind of pad out the length of the game.
Yeah, of course. It's just one of the many examples you could bring up. Like, you could do anything. Like when I think someone makes a retro game, I feel it should have a retro aesthetic and like retro music, but it shouldn't implement the poor things old retro games had due to technical limitations.
Right.
It just shouldn't be in there. It's not making the game any better. It's not giving you more nostalgia. It just makes it a worse experience.
Because we have it pretty lucky these days because the games back then there wasn't even digital distribution. You had to have like a supply chain to like make it and put it on a cartridge, and then that cartridge you're dealing with like 2 megabytes of space or some shit. And it was like we're talking real technical limitations.
Exactly. So why are you having static sprites when you could have retro styled animated sprites, just like your player characters? There's no reason to not do it. Aside from you either being lazy or too poor to commission someone, or I don't know why. That's for the developer to figure out, but there's no reason to put like static sprites in there if you don't have to. Your game is still retro if you have animated enemies, as long as they're retro styled. Right?
Yeah.
I guess.
It's still a retro game.
I guess.
Or the whole grinding part. There's no reason nowadays to really do grinding. What prevents you from making a retro game that requires no grinding? Because nowadays you don't need to pad out your gameplay. There's no reason to. They had to back in the day because they want to sell a game that has as many hours as possible, because otherwise nobody would buy it. But nowadays people buy like 5-hour games all the time.
Hold on, Ricky said so strange to harp on this. Some people like static sprites.
Of course, it's just an example. There's always somebody who likes something. There's also people who like grinding. But generally speaking, most people don't like static sprites.
I like them when they're animated, yeah.
Most people don't like grinding.
Yeah, I don't like. Maybe some, but not.
I love grind.
It all depends. It all depends, of course. There's always somebody who will like it and somebody who doesn't. But like generally speaking, what my point is, don't make retro games and implement all the things in retro games that had only been there because of technical limitations. That's not what makes a retro game a good retro game.
Yeah, I agree, Brent Ross. And Brent says, I don't understand the 6 question marks. and the one monster sprite just seem unfinished. You don't need $200 a piece to draw some static pixel art. He talking about the question marks on the
we don't know
screen.
what the question mark is though. It could just be a placeholder that's supposedly a Kickstarter backer Pokemon.
But
so
not, come on, but not in the demo, bro.
It shouldn't be in there regardless of how it looks. Like a backer Pokemon shouldn't be in the demo regardless. But we don't know.
You love grinding SG. I played the Origins demo. Really? Padre played it?
Man, doing a dungeon like twice is not grinding. Like you're not even reaching the last boss of the dungeon in your first run. Most of the time. Grinding is what D7 does. Running back and forth in the same area for 2 hours to
That's grinding.
That's what grinding is.
That's grinding, my guy. That's what we did back in the days. You know what I mean? So
like, give me money and I finish this art question.
So what you guys think about the music and the maps?
I did not like either one.
I thought the maps they served their purpose. They were
they didn't look like ass, but like they had no interactions. There was no exploration or anything. They just, as I said, they just served the point of giving the player ground to walk on. That's all.
Yeah, and the music, you know, I was kind of in the middle on it. It didn't bother me, but it also felt like it wasn't that. Like it wasn't quite right either. I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle on the music.
Okay.
I don't know. For me, I didn't really like it. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it sounded kind of annoying to me.
Or just that it didn't necessarily fit the scene.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of not fitting to what was going on. Really, I don't know. It was weird.
Okay. Yeah, I do agree. You think of a game like this would have wacky music because the characters look wacky. You got a book with a nightcap on their head with alternate faces. Then you got a robot that looks mad. You know, it's wacky. It's childish. It's a childish game. Not sure what the agenda is, you know, concerning the LGBT in this game. Maybe Moreira is LGBT. Don't know. We didn't really get that far, you know. So tags are a lot, you know. Like when you see a game, the tags do matter. Like, what's the real agenda behind this game? You know, are you creating a game to push an agenda, or are you just creating a game to you know, because this is a childhood memory type thing? I don't know, but we can all agree that this game needs a lot of work.
Yeah, it's severely undercooked at this point.
A lot of work. You can defend this how much you want, guys, in the chat. You can defend this how much you want. There's some strong qualities and there's some weaker qualities. But overall, when you go commercial, you guys know you're in a different ball game.
Yep.
Especially if you go Kickstarter.
Kickstarter too. Y'all complain about Mango Mania. But Mango Mischief, but that had a whole lot more to offer than what this game has.
Yeah, it had a game. I mean, it wasn't really a good one, and it didn't look good with all the RTP.
But I would prefer that game, though.
Content. It had content, at least.
Yeah, I prefer that game, or a Darien Counts.
Yeah,
that at least, I mean, it became unplayable. I might stream that again. Why
do you want to stream that again?
See if I could beat it.
I mean, D7 likes pain. We all know that.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
But
yeah, it's a little like I would have loved it if the dev was here to answer like.
Oh, they're there. The dev is here because who put top tier?
I don't know. Somebody. troll, maybe? I don't fucking know. Like, I would like to know, as I said, like the thing is, if you market your indie dev company as like LGBTQ games, so the problem I'm having with that is there is no LGBTQ content in this demo.
As of yet.
So that's kind of a no-go. And if it was, if this was like an agenda pushing game, then I could see it being back because people love that kind of agenda shit. But there is nothing in there yet. So these are things I would have liked to know. Like, is this demo gonna expand? Does it turn out everyone in this game is fucking gender fluid or whatever? I don't fucking know. I would have liked to know what the plans here were, instead of just having an 8-minute demo to play and don't know shit about it.
Maybe it's more explained in the well, there wasn't really much in the in the press kit, because normally some developers give you a whole breakdown of the story in press kits, but this developer just gave me what I put in the description.
Exactly. My game's gonna have a press kit too, because apparently that's what you need. You need to give that to people who write gaming blogs and whatnot. You need that shit. And you need to give people information, but we didn't get any of that. We just had an 8-minute demo that didn't tell us anything really.
El Bandito said this demo should have been strictly a tech demo and not even present the story, but what the dev wants to show, like the battle system, gameplay, and level map. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, that's what we got, and that's what we tried to judge it on. And based on that, this is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's all we got, brother. That was all we got.
We don't have a lot of monsters. The battles are plain and boring. And the characters are plain and boring too. Like, that's all we had. Like, there's nothing more in this demo.
And people think we're mean and stuff, but we're not. We're just being honest. Like
it can all be fit. It can all be improved. It can all be fit.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we were playing your game,
the idea.
If we were playing your game, you know, we'll be having the same conversation.
Oh,
but in the not your game. I'm just saying, like, anybody's game.
Yeah, anybody's game.
We'll be having the same conversation.
I'm holding no punches.
Yeah, and we do it in the Discord. Like Colo Coco say, "How does horse look?" Harlequin was like, "You made it worse."
Of course, I'm holding.
He's being honest,
not for you, not for Moogle, not for Padre, not for anybody.
And he saw it and agreed.
Yeah.
After he thought it was
in the spirit of improvement, though. I'm not just telling Colo Coco his horse looks shit. I'm also telling him how I think it would look better. That's the whole point, and that's what we did here too. We tell the developer this game is shit, but we also tell him how we think it could be massively improved. That's the whole point of this podcast.
And we know that it could make people upset. Like,
I mean,
you know, when you talk about somebody's game that they worked so hard on, that's not what somebody want to hear. We understand that. Now, I'm just being for real. We understand that. Like, who's trying to hear that your game is bad? Who is really trying to hear that? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's trying to hear that.
Of the fun too. Like,
but it's okay. Actually, I when people say that about my game, I'm like, okay, I don't know if I can change any of that, but let me look. And usually it's something small that pisses them off, and you can kind of make it a little bit better. But I don't know. It doesn't bother me to get.
Yeah, I'm holding no punches with Psychronic either. Like, I'll told up straight him, I'm not gonna touch your game because I'm gonna hate it.
Yeah, I did hear you say that plenty of times.
I have mad respect for the game and himself too, but I'm not.
That's not your type of game,
and I'm not gonna give him feedback because I would not like this game at all.
Yeah, and that's another thing too to consider is that even if you do mostly everything right in the game that you're making, it's not always somebody else's type of game.
Exactly, that's how games work. There's always gonna be someone who loves it, and there's always gonna be someone who absolutely fucking hates it. And there's always going to be people mad at you for making the game the way you did it.
All right, guys, we are at the part of the podcast where we got to put a price on this. If you saw this game fully finished, everything that you see is what you got. What will you price this game at? And let's start with Cychronic.
$0.
$0. All right. Harlequin?
Yeah, it's like we didn't really get much to even give it a price. Like, this was 8 minutes. Even if this continued for 8 more hours, there wouldn't be content in this game still. Like, it would just be battle after battle with a boring system. So unless they improve everything heavily and add features to it, it's a straight up 0. Like, there's no way.
$0.
As I said, like, I like the idea. I think the gacha approach is kind of interesting, especially in this day and age where everyone is wild playing these mobile gacha games and shit like that. But you gotta make it interesting. You gotta make special gacha machines or special currency and rarities and higher rarity monsters have special skills and whatnot. But that's not in the game. So based on what's in there, there's nothing to buy here. Like, I could buy the tile set they use here and make and have a better time than playing this.
Oh my gosh. I say $9.99.
Yeah, you crazy.
Nah, I'm joking. $2.99. I'll pay $3 for this game. $2.99. If
In your library and you actually pay $2.99 for it, I'm gonna call you out and I'm gonna denounce you.
really,
Yeah, because you lying. Ain't no way you're gonna pay for this. No way.
I will pay $2.99 for this.
You wouldn't pay anything. I doubt that you would buy this game at all.
Me personally,
Of course, you personally. Who else?
for what it was, I probably would not buy it. But I will
That's what
price
we're
it.
basing
I
our
will
prices on.
price it at $2.99.
What's the point of you pricing it at something if you wouldn't even buy it?
It's a suggested price.
I don't know.
Like if he was someone who would normally buy it, what price would he charge?
Yeah.
No,
If I was to
basing
develop
my
it,
prices
if
on a game that I would actually buy for that price.
I wouldn't even buy it for the phone, Bandy. Though I wouldn't even buy it for the phone because, you know, what this developer could have done. I mean, this would be a good mobile game, to be honest, with the gotcha machine.
Yeah,
you know,
with-
you get a
with
free spin.
paid
You get a
gacha.
free spin if you watch an ad to get a regular monster. It would definitely work out. And also, I didn't like it because it didn't have controller support. Had to play with the keyboard with this game, where this could be easily controller supported.
Yeah, I don't know. I base my prices on if I were someone who liked this game, this genre of game, at what price would I actually buy it as someone who enjoys this kind of game?
I will buy this at $2.99 if I were to pick it up.
Yeah, and if you don't pick it up, I'm gonna sue you. Because you like every game.
When I say that, that don't mean I'm going to buy your game. Like it's not like it's a sealed deal. Oh, I'm gonna buy. I be broke.
Man,
I be broke, bro.
Man, look. Like the premise was, if this was completed, right? So
Yeah.
Let's imagine the game continues as this demo is. You go from area to area and have one battle with this battle system, and you price that at $2.99.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
$2.99 is not a bad
With this
price.
battle system. Man, look, there's free
mean-
games out there that are so much better than this, and you would still price this at $2.99? I don't know, man. I'm not buying it, man. It's your opinion, but I'm not buying it, man.
How much were y'all prices at, chat? If you bought this game, will you price this game at all? Or will you keep it free? I mean, it has potential to be a $2.99 game based on what I played.
Does it really?
Yeah.
This looks like they took a tactics battle plugin, dropped it in the game, and that's it. That's all they did. The only thing that has effort.
Brent Rawson says $5.
Yeah, Brent Rawson is just as crazy as you are.
Oh.
Like really, the only effort that's like real effort is the monster sprites, right? This took effort. Like, I don't like the art style and the designs, but this took effort. Somebody had to sit down and draw these things and put them into RPG Maker. That's like the only thing of value in this game.
Bro.
The rest is a purchase tile set, the most basic maps you could make, and probably a just plug and play combat system that wasn't altered in any way. That's how this game feels to me. Just plug and play.
But
how is this $2.99?
It has interesting premises.
Yeah, but who pays for a premise? Everybody has an idea. Ideas ain't worth shit.
Alright, I looked at it like this. If I didn't have them Kickstarters, monsters, the game probably would have played differently. Because you have weaker monsters. I even said that the Kickstarters ruined the game, which it did.
No, it's the same thing happened even with the non-Kickstarter ones.
I didn't have any of these question marks. I was still one-shotting them.
No, what it is that the HP is low enough that even if one has higher attack than the other and all that, it doesn't matter because you just have to hit them twice or once and then
so they automatically dead in 2 hits.
In 1 hit, like I didn't have these Kickstarter. Like I one-shotted most of everything.
Oh wow!
Before it even came into range of attacking me.
Oh my jeez!
And instead, what they could do is make it where there's a little more HP, so it takes a few more hits, and then have different types of attacks that are unique to each of the monsters, and then it would be a lot more fun.
Yeah, everything that makes a tactics game good and fun is not in this demo.
So you don't think this game worth $2.99?
This game worth ain't shit.
What about $1?
Not in its current state.
Huh?
Not in its current state.
50 cents?
0 in its current state.
25 cents. 25 cents.
It's not even complete.
10 cents.
Man, this guy is paying for everything.
Dang, y'all tight, boy. Woo. Alright, so there you have it, guys. I mean,
look at what Padre said.
I have faith in the developer. So developer, do not fail me, developer. So now you got a big mission to complete. Give us an updated demo and let me restream this game and see what the changes are, and hopefully I can change the people's minds. So you gotta work with me, my guy. You gotta work with me. You gotta give me something nice and sweet. Maybe some better graphics, better battle system, maybe some healing items that can heal our monsters. If they don't get restored after battle, I don't know. So I'll give you another shot, my guy.
There's a lot of stuff you can do. Like nobody is saying quit game developing or anything.
Oh no, we're not
just
saying that.
Improve this shit because it could be good one day if you improved it.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Right now, it's pretty much like Padre said. All the developer has shown us here that he doesn't know how tactics battle works. That's all we got.
And if you can do that as the developer, it'll improve your Kickstarter chances as well when you finally do really. Yeah,
absolutely.
So
and when Padres say something, you gotta take that as gold. You gotta take that as gold, as law. So Guys, so this is our longest podcast ever. 2 hours on an 8-minute game. I am very, very, very.
We're making it work, man. We're putting in more effort than this tactics battle system.
So, developer, if you are watching or going to watch this VOD, definitely consider our wise words. 23% think that you have a top tier game. When I mean by top tier, all the bells and whistles are there. There's no complaints about it. There's little room for improvement. You get what you get at a higher tier price. And top tier doesn't mean money. It means that you definitely took your time and created a game that mass people will probably like with less complaints. Mid tier is a okay game, an average game. You know, there's room for improvement, but it plays as an average style game with the music, maps, battle system. You know, it's a unique game in itself, but
enjoyable experience.
Yeah, it's an enjoyable experience. Low tier is your ordinary, everyday, standard RPG Maker game that can definitely be improved in many different avenues, and it just feels like it's just bare bones. And garbage tier is something that should never been released, and only 8% says that. So we appreciate you guys coming out. Appreciate all the comments that you have for the developer. When they watch this VOD over again, they will be able to see the feedback from you guys. You know, not only just be Harlequin and Synchronic Games are the RTP, you guys are RTP as well. So without you guys, we would definitely be struggling and wouldn't know how to run things. So once again, if you want to try this game for yourself, we have the description in the download links and everything inside the descriptions. If you want to follow each and every last one of our channels, appropriate channels, we have our channels located in the descriptions as well. Follow me, D757 Gaming, where I stream, you know, occasionally. Then Synchronic Game streams every Saturday morning, so you can leave him a follow. And Harlequin just posts updates of his games and stuff on his page, but he has other RPG Maker streams that he personally done on his channel. And those who are not part of the RTP Discord, please join our Discord. We have the link in the description, where we talk about a whole bunch of stuff, whether it's from your game, life events, or if you have any shops that you would like to offer, like mapping services that our Harlequin does. You know, he does mapping and action sequencing services. Then Synchronic, he has a whole list of websites where you could get custom music that's free of charge. I believe it's the CC4 music, where you just got to give them credit. And we also have other individuals part of the podcast that offers plugin services or optimizations to help your game run better, and give feedback for certain script calls to do certain things in your game that the internet do not have any answers for, but only in our podcast. We stream every Wednesday at 2 p.m. EST, and I believe the next person game we're going to be playing is going to be picked by Synchronic Games, if I'm not mistaken.
Isn't it Simple?
Okay,
Gaming?
Simple Gaming's turn. Okay, so Simple Gaming is going to be choosing the next game. So if you
hopefully that's gonna be longer than 8 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. So these last two have been really short. So I'm hoping for something with a little more meat on it.
I'm gonna submit my game.
Yeah. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscription button and hit that bell icon where you will be notified every time we go live. There's no excuse to be saying, oh, I didn't know it was Wednesday. Once we go live, you get that bing. You would know we are live.
If you have doctor's appointments or anything like that, cancel them.
Cancel your doctor's appointment. If somebody,
priorities straight.
if you're getting married, cancel your wedding. So, if your child is being born, tell the doctor to hold the baby until after the podcast. The podcast comes first. Right? So, definitely check out the previous videos. You could download the games that we previously played. And also on my personal channel, you could definitely download a lot of the games that I play on there. And those who need to reach me can reach me at d757gaming@gmail.com and submit their game there that they want to see me play individually. But if you want the RTP podcast to play your game, you have to join our Discord and you have to submit your game in the game request forum, where after every 3 weeks on my play, when I play, I spin the wheel, and that will determine the next game of the community. So before I head out, do any of my co-hosts has anything to say before we leave?
Just that I will. I'm looking forward to the next one. Let's do it.
All right. Harlequin, anything? Any great words?
What can I say? Not much, really. Like, keep improving on your game, my guy. I think, as I said, like, I like the premise. I think it could potentially be good, but it needs like a whole lot of work to go there.
Yeah. I agree. Like, definitely agree with Harlequin. You know, he has a lot of words and merits for himself because his project speaks a lot of volume. Not perfect, but it speaks for itself.
Yeah, I mean, no game is ever going to be perfect, of course.
Yeah. So, guys, until next time, you know, definitely hit the like button. Let's boost the algorithm. We appreciate the extra subscriber we got. We are at 54 subscribers, so we are definitely moving. Let's push up to 100 subscribers, and let's keep growing. So we're definitely doing some numbers over here. So until next time, guys, you know where to reach us. Definitely hope to see you guys inside the server. And y'all have a good one. See you later.